Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. Okay, so I've got some leftover neon paint. I did a piece previously, just a white piece with a swipe. But because I've got some paints left over, I thought I would use another 16 by 12 inch canvas, use a cookie cutter as my open cup, and do an open cup pour today, just to see how different a black base is compared to a white base. And by using the same paints but changing up the technique, how different a piece might look. So I'm really excited to try this. I've not done an open cup for a while, but I really do love this technique. So let's see what we can create. So this time I'm using a black base. This is Lamp Black by Amsterdam. And then I've got my neon colours, which I'm going to use within my cookie cutter to create a design. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's going to be a little bit like the Northern Lights. So let's see if we can get this. I'm going to layer the base first, and then I will get my cookie cutter and layer the paints within the cookie cutter, and we can see what kind of creation it makes. I'm just adding a little bit more paint in the area where I'm going to place my cookie cutter. So that's down, and I'm going to start layering the cup with one colour at a time. And you know me by now, I like to be in the moment of this, so I'm not going to rush. I have sped the video up in parts just so you don't get bored, but stick with me, because as this transforms and this really evolves, just take a look at how the paint reacts with the base colour and how all those neon colours can infuse and create different cells on the surface of that canvas. So you'll see here, as I add the paint in, the cup or the cookie cutter is moving on its own. That's because the weight within the cup is being pushed underneath the surface of that cookie cutter, allowing it to travel as I add more paint within the cookie cutter. So I'm going to just continue doing this. I'm going to continue adding more paint, one colour at a time, and you'll see all that different paint, all those different colours disperse underneath the cookie cutter, underneath the paint on the surface. When it doesn't move though, don't be scared just to move it along yourself. You can either do this by this method you see me doing now, where I pick up my cup and just drag it, or you can pick up your canvas itself and tilt it. But as you can see, there's some wonderful cells being created along the way. I'm just going to repeat this process time after time until I've got enough paint on the surface. But as you can also see, because I'm taking my time, I'm allowing those cells to pop through from the bottom of the canvas to the surface. And it's just creating such a lovely pattern. And I don't know, what do you think? Do you think this is going to be Northern Lights? Or do you think this is going to be something a bit different? I just love all that detail there. I wanted to take you in for a bit of a close-up now, just so you can see what I can see, especially before I release more of the paint from the cup. So I'm going to pick it up gently and just glide it along, placing it down and picking it up. And you can then move the paint as you glide across your canvas. I'm really loving this. Ta-da! Done. I'm only joking. So I'm going to just move this very slightly upwards, so towards you. I'm twisting it as I go just so it doesn't leave a block of colour in the path that it's taking. And I will slide that off the edge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to really look at my composition. I'm going to add some more black, the base colour, around those white edges that you can see. Because that's when I really want to look at the composition and I will decide how I tilt that. The torch that I'm using now is to help bring out more of those cells that you can see forming and to get rid of any of the air bubbles. And before I start tilting, I just want to take you in for a close-up because, guys, I just love these cells. And you know what? I think I would really love just to leave it as it is, but I'm not going to do that on this occasion. I'm going to pick it up, tilt it, and see what kind of pattern we can create on the surface. Something that I am mindful of. So when I did the last neon one, and I was using a white base, it was very bright, very vibrant. What I'm expecting with this is because I'm using a black base, the colours that you see here now, the vibrancy, probably will not stay that vibrant because of the black, because of the very dark base colour that you will see. But I'm just going to take some time now and slowly tilt out the design across the canvas, leaving some negative space, because sometimes if you leave negative space, that gives that creation a completely different vibe and a completely different look. By allowing some negative space can really set off that creation and that pattern. Okay, so I think I'm done with tilting, so let's take you in for a close-up. And yeah, I love how I've stretched it out. I love some of the lines that you can see. I love some of the cells. But I mentioned before, you're going to see some of that black base come from the bottom and rise to the top. It's not going to make the colours disappear completely, but it will be a bit dull. So to get around that, what I will do is when it's fully dry and cured, I will add a high gloss varnish to this. I always use a Winsor & Newton spray, and that will just help with that shimmer and shine on the surface to kind of make that colour more vibrant and shine. Okay, so let me take you in for a closer look of the dry version, and you can see that the colours have dulled down a little bit because of the colour of the base that I've used. The white one was brighter and had more vibrancy, and neons I find always work better with a white base. But let me know what you think, and let me know if you also play and work with neons as well. And what shall I call this piece? I think it's going to be Neon Lights at Night. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.